We've lived in Spain now for almost 3 years with no car, which means we have to walk everywhere. And as we're out walking, we see debris from homes that are being renovated or built. And we always see brick or concrete. We never see wood. But in the United States, that's all you see. And we're going to find out today why that is with a little channel called Cheddar. And I will include the link in the description so you can go over there and show them some love. I'm sure they'd appreciate that. The video we're looking at today here is why so many American homes are flimsy. Cheddar explains. This is going to be interesting because I wonder if it's a little something, a little more in depth than just they're made out of wood. So we're going to find out why today. Before we get going here, go ahead and like the video. That really helps a lot. Let's see what we can see.
You can hear conversations through the walls. Footsteps up the stairs. Banging pots in the kitchen when you're across the house.
Right.
That's just life in most American homes. Walls are thin and the opposite of soundproof. And something always needs to be fixed. And most homes aren't even that old. There should be no excuse that they're falling apart. But
that's crazy. I mean, we live in an old place and it's straight up concrete. The floors are like marble. The walls are concrete. The building itself is concrete. The doors are about the only thing that we have that's wood. So, yeah.
There should be no excuse that they're falling apart.
Right.
But why are they like this, especially when other areas have sturdy, thick houses that last hundreds and hundreds of years?
The answer isn't just capitalism, so don't click off the video just yet.
It's actually a lot more complex, and the solution isn't easy.
Oh man, this is going to be interesting. I wonder what it could be. I mean, we're going to find out, obviously, but I like to speculate.
If you're looking for one quick thing to blame, you can look towards George Washington's snow.
In 1832, the civil engineer was tasked with building a Chicago warehouse as quickly as possible from the local softwood. So he got creative. Snow used 2x4s to assemble hollow walls, several stories high.
Oh, wow.
The method let individual workers handle assembly, leaving only one person to nail it all into place. Snow completed the warehouse in record time. The method was called balloon framing, and it became the construction method of choice in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
But balloon framing didn't take off until the 1940s, when America was experiencing...
Wait a minute. Balloon framing. Okay. So because of that guy, everything's all screwed up. But essentially what they're saying is they wanted something done quickly, and they wanted something that didn't take many people to build. So it sounds like they wanted to find something that they can have I guess a high return on investment or low investment initially in both time and money. That's interesting.
A post-war boom period till the 19th choice in Chicago. But balloon framing didn't take off until the 1940s, when America was experiencing a post-war boom period. More Americans had money than ever before, and they wanted the American dream, a house. They could suddenly afford to buy homes in sprawling new suburbs, and contractors knew they could make a killing if they could produce enough homes to satisfy the demand. Balloon framing and its successor, platform framing, allowed contractors to frame houses basically overnight. But there was something unique about balloon framing that made it only feasible in certain countries, like the US and Canada, and not in Europe.
Balloon framing requires a massive quantity of long, mature trees.
And America had an abundance of super tall, mature trees. Plus, it was an easy and cheap construction material for the newly growing suburbs. Wood is sturdy, yet flexible enough to withstand low-intensity earthquakes and tornadoes.
So they wanted sprawling homes. Dang. I mean, I guess this happens all over the world, but it just seems like it always comes down to money and just having a way to make more and more and more. I mean, I'm not saying that's good or bad. Depends on what you do with that money, but that's what it all seems to boil down to. And that's what was happening here. But let's see what they were saying.
Wood is sturdy, yet flexible enough to withstand low-intensity earthquakes and tornadoes. If you want to hear about all of wood's good qualities, check out our video on the subject here. In Europe, wood is still incredibly expensive because so few forests remain, and what they do have is heavily protected. So the average European home is built with brick, stone, or concrete, and they're many centuries old. These materials can be sturdier and safer than wood. A concrete masonry wall has a, shocker, higher fire insulation property rating compared to a wooden frame wall. One of these concrete walls has a fire rating of around 4 hours till it's destroyed, as compared to a wooden framed wall, which only has a rating of around an hour. Insurance carriers also have long-term data suggesting that homes constructed of brick are less likely to be destroyed by natural hazards. And if saving money is your game, the U.S. Department of Energy estimates that you could save $340 a month or over $4,000 a year on heating and cooling if you live in a brick house over a wood one.
That's true. That happens here. I mean, there's a lot of places, if you can believe this, a lot of places in southern Spain where I am that do not have air conditioning. And it gets I think next week it's going to be 31, 32 degrees. So it's going to be hot. But they just know how it keeps, it cools down in the evening. And during the day, they just keep all the windows closed. And so it keeps the place cool. So I could see that.
It's estimated that losses from wildfires have added up to $5.1 billion over the past 10 years.
Oh my God.
A number made even more bloated by all the wood-framed houses.
Now, to be clear, wood isn't necessarily a bad building material.
I mean, take a look at the Fairbanks house in Dedham, Massachusetts. It's been standing since 1637. But in general, wood is harder to maintain. In fact, without maintenance, many houses won't make it to 30 years.
And to many Americans, that's just the right amount of time.
The U.S. Census says that the average American moves houses 11 times in their lifetime. That figure across 16 European countries? About 4 times.
Really? I think just since I've been in Spain, I've already moved twice. Well, maybe once, but I lived in 2 places. And in the United States, I definitely held a my end when it came to that survey. Because I lived in Nevada, California, Southern California, Northern California, Texas, Washington State. So I've lived in a few places in my lifetime.
Since Americans are constantly moving their homes, they don't need them to last as long. They expect a semi-new home wherever they go because with the increased owner turnover, regular maintenance isn't normally done. It's easier just to rip it down and start over fresh.
But why do Americans move around so much?
You can blame the job market. In America, it's much more common to hop around between companies. The opposite is true in the European Union. The World Bank reports that the median tenure of the average U.S. employee was 4 years, while the median tenure in the EU was 10 years.
Oh my God. Really? I mean, I guess that's because I think she said that are jobs just harder to come by? Or I wonder if in the U.S. you just have a culture of knowing that you can always go somewhere else, or people take jobs with the idea that they're going to learn some skills and go to a different job. I don't know. That's interesting.
Part of that culture of constantly shifting jobs is moving to a new area to take that job, meaning you've got to move houses. So, short story, blame George Washington Snow. Long story, blame the shifting U.S. job market.
Interestingly, we aren't the only country in the world to have famously flimsy houses.
Oh, really?
We share that title with Japan, and they're actually worse than us.
Houses in Japan depreciate like cars do in the US.
After 20 years, a Japanese house typically loses all of its value and is,
wow.
on average, torn down just 30 years after
Oh,
being
wow.
built. According to a paper by the Nomura Research Institute, it's a major obstacle to affluence for Japanese families. The collective waste is approximately an annual loss of 4% of Japan's
Oh,
total
wow.
GDP. The total amount of new houses built in Japan every year is on par with the United States,
Hmm.
despite having only a third of its population, which is shrinking every year. 87% of Japan's home sales are new homes, compared to only 11 to 34% in Western countries. Part of the reason for this is that the Japanese love new things.
Oh, I was going to say, well, I was wondering why that was. Oh, look, this is what I was thinking. They have all these natural disasters over there. And then I was thinking that homes probably have to be built to be like earthquake proof. So would that make them a little, I mean, more flimsy? I don't know. They have earthquakes, they have tsunamis, flooding. So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Their frequent and severe earthquakes make
Yeah.
old houses, cheap wood frame houses from the same post-war boom we had, dangerous and without proper seismic reinforcement.
Right.
It's considered futile to invest in their maintenance or try to improve them.
Yeah.
That's especially reinforced, the Nomura Research Institute says, by concepts of impermanence in the Shinto religion. Take a look at Issei's Grand Shinto Shrine, a huge religious site that is rebuilt from scratch every 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, it's very expensive when you apply that same principle to houses.
Americans wanted cheap homes to fulfill their dreams of home ownership after World War II. But the tricks that contractors used to make that happen have made it easy for us to view homes as disposable and unworthy of repair. But times could be changing. A recent trend that hasn't unseated wooden framing yet is modular or prefabricated homes.
Right.
Modular homes are constructed in sections away from the building site and then put together on the property. But they're actually framed with 8 to 10% more wood, so they're extra strong for transportation, and are designed to be sturdier than regular homes. Instead of nails and screws, walls are connected using joints and strong glues. It's a method that has become increasingly popular for making tiny homes, but hasn't managed to beat out balloon framing on the most important thing to contractors: price. Modular homes sell for less than regular homes, even though they can be slightly cheaper to make, so
Right.
contractors avoid them in favor of more profit.
If Americans decided to
There you go again. Money. They favor them. They just can't make it. They just can't make as much, so they're not going to promote those as much.
So contractors avoid them in favor of more profit.
If Americans decided to stay put in one home and invest in it, that might change.
But the cheap efficiency of wooden framing and the necessity of moving to advance one's career are hard lures to resist, especially when everyone else is doing it.
So I suppose you can really just blame it on trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Oh, God. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. Well, I don't know about that. So George Washington Snow screwed it all up by trying to build something fast out of wood and something that only one person could put together. So that was a model for how you can build something with a huge profit margin, and they wanted to have more of those, so they built all these sprawling neighborhoods, and it costs less over there. But over here, wood costs more because the resources are limited. That's super interesting. So I don't know what you've got out of that, but why don't you put it in the comments and let me know what you think? I think that's super interesting. That definitely explains why the houses are more flimsy over there in the US. Hope you liked that video. If you did, then go ahead and give it a quick thumbs up, like it. That would be great. Thanks for joining me here today. My name is Greg, and we will catch you on the next video. Peace.